So the Saturday race, Ben started and I was taking the checker in terms of how our stints worked out. So Sunday we figured we'd flip it and I started the first stint and then Ben was planning to take the checker at the end of the day. First stint that I got out in the car, got comfortable, green flag drops,
green flag,
we had some gaps open up, and I was able to pick off a few positions just on the first corner. And then throughout the rest of the lap, started to try and get real comfortable with the car and started doing consistent pace. I felt amazing on Sunday. All the jitters on Saturday, you know, worrying about race conditions, worrying about a new car because it's different. All of that was gone. Very used to the car at that point. It just felt perfect. I was flying and I was having a great time.
Radio check, radio check.
APC, for you, loud and clear.
How's it going out there?
Car feels good in the corners. I'm just really struggling with power on the straight.
Next car up ahead, it's 5 seconds slower per lap.
Copy that, I'm just trying to set up a path. I'm catching him, bit by bit. I'm chasing him down.
Good job. Well done.
So a car in front of us in our class, 527, they maybe needed 2-3 laps in. All of a sudden the car pulls offline and there's just smoke just billowing out of the back of the car. It's the one thing you absolutely hate to have happen because as a driver, you know how much work, how much time, how much money, blood, sweat, and tears, dedication goes into just getting a car to the track. And then to have all of that just kind of go up in smoke, it's really, really heartbreaking. You can't focus on what's happening to the other team. You need to worry about what you're doing on the track. I mean, in the car, things are going by at 100 miles an hour. You know, emotion is not going to help you drive the car faster or safer, and so you need to try and calm your mind, focus on the task at hand, and worry about the rest of it when the checker flag flies.
On Sunday, the car did feel a lot better. We made a few changes on Saturday evening to the car setup to adapt to the temperatures. We changed the tire pressure. We also did some geometry changes to the car to make it a little quicker in the corners and to give us more grip in the corners, because that's where we could really pass other people. Because again, we were slow on straights. We needed to brake as efficiently as possible, so we took some camber out, and that helped us with the whole car setup. So the car was a lot quicker on Sunday. We really improved it. I think we were in second place in our class. The third place car was about a lap behind us. So it could have been a really good finish for us.
Ben and Kyle were both turning laps, you know, an hour and a half, one after another. and we were running pretty consistently in the 203 to 204 range, back to back with both drivers, which was very satisfying.
So during the race, it's very critical to monitor how your lap times are going compared to everyone else around. So in your class overall, where do you stand? Like how consistent the drivers are. So looking at the screen and the lap times, it gives you a very good information of how the overall race is going and how you need to improve or pull back. Decide your strategy basically.
Overall, we had an issue over the whole weekend with the tune that we put in the car not working for the high temperatures. So we were quite a bit down on power compared to the cars in our class. We could make that up in corners because our corner speed was much better than the other cars. But every time we went out on the straightaway, even the cars in our class were basically shooting past us. So passing cars was very difficult for us.
Do you copy?
Copy, Ben, copy.
Car number 210 is in front of me and he's not letting me pass. Is he in my class?
Let me check. Car 210, not in class. Not in class.
Okay, he's not letting me pass. He's making it super difficult. So, what should I do?
He's class 2. He's a slower class. Be safe and you can pass him. Pass him safely.
Okay, got it. Hammer down.
What I had to do is I really had to push it, getting into the brake zones, getting late on the brakes, getting right next to him, and try to pass him in a corner instead of on a straight. After battling him for a few laps, I figured out that he was going early on the brakes. I went on the brakes really late, tried to carry as much speed as possible, catching him on the inside.
Man, he turned right into me.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. But he just turned right into me. Back on track.
Alright, drive safe.
Yeah, try to look at my right tire. It seems like my steering wheel is off center, so just make sure that my right tire is okay.
Will do.
We got to a point at about hour 5 where we realized we were in position 2. And looking at the car that was in P1, we were a ways behind them, but we were at a point where we told the drivers, do not worry about any other car on the track but the one car that's ahead of you. We were very optimistic that as long as we played it smart, we played it safe, we could capitalize on the pit stops and go to position 1. Ben was very close to the end of his fourth stint. I saw the yellow flag come out. I radioed yellow flag, yellow flag, yellow flag. About 30 to 40 seconds later, the black flag came out, which was all cars in. I called that over the radio too, unbeknownst to me what was actually going on. I'm watching car after car after car after car come in. And once they all come in and realize This car right here didn't make it in. My heart sank. Trying to radio to Ben, trying to radio to all the spotters. Who has eyes on him? Who has eyes on him? Who has eyes on him? He knows something's wrong. This continued on for about 5 minutes, as anybody would think. You think your driver was just in the worst accident of his life. You don't know if the car is bent up, crashed, is the driver hurt? Kyle and Jamie walked up and said, hey, the car's on the hauler, going back up to the trailer. I ran up the hill. Then I see Ben come around from the front of our race hauler. I yelled at him, and I hugged him.
So during the second 2-hour stint, the oil cap actually rattled itself loose. I noticed that the car was more difficult to drive, I was losing grip, and I just had to stop on the track. Now, the issue was that it was so dry that grass under me started catching on fire. So luckily, I tried to restart the car and rolled down the hill. So I got away from the burning grass and the car was fine.
We popped the hood on it, quick visual inspection, the valve cap worked its way off during the race. On initial check of the dipstick, it was only down a quart, so that right there was promising to me. So I ripped out the oil filter, slapped a new one in really quick, topped off the engine. Kyle jumped in the car and we wiped down some of the oil as quickly as we could and sent Kyle back out.
Ben had to get brought in on a wrecker just for fear of, breaking the car. I wanted the car to go back out on track. Everyone wanted it to. As we said, our goal was always to finish the races. And so if there's any possible way of doing that, we were going to find it.
At AER, they send you texts over your phone, specifically to you and your team. I looked at my phone and said, wait a second. It said, congratulations, 3rd overall for the weekend. What? We retired at hour 6.5, but we still got a second trophy for it, which was pretty amazing. And then, here's the icing on the cake. We walk up to the trophy ceremony. And lo and behold, who is standing there? The man himself, Randy Popes. Our breath was all taken away, like, holy crap, we were on track with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Randy Popes. That was pretty cool. But the takeaway from AER was, yes, we had some engine trouble, but I would say it was a complete success.
Yeah, I think after a really hot and tough weekend, we realized that AER is the race format we want to continue in. It is tough wheel-to-wheel racing, but it is fair wheel-to-wheel racing. We still have to make some improvements on our car. The engine tune needs to improve. Some of the pit stop times were a little slow, so we're working on that. But overall, I think we realized that this is the format we want to race in, and this is where we're going to continue.
I've been able to get comfortable in the car. Ben's the owner and has a lot more experience with this chassis, and we were neck and neck in terms of lap times. So that's a huge confidence boost for me. So that definitely helps me feel ready to take on whatever challenges that come next.
Yeah, getting more experience, and we're learning a lot and we're growing a lot with every event that we go to, and as a team we're building really strong. So keep doing that and keep getting better.